One of the most talked about games in M4. This is Team Haq versus the Valley. A lot of people have been wondering how the Valley kind of lost this one and what it means for them going forward. And we'll be covering all of that here on today's video over on YouTube. We'll also be doing an M4 series for every single match and a little bit of breakdown and analysis as we do move forward through M4 as well. So appreciate everybody tuning in. For those who don't know, my name is Wheezy. I'm an NACT caster, and one of the things I love doing is breaking down these teams and figuring out exactly where or what went wrong inside of the gameplay. But looking at the match so far, we are looking at Team Haq, that team from Malaysia, going up against the Valley, the #1 team in North America. So that's super exciting to kind of start off. But looking at the draft so far, you are seeing a very heavy tank composition from the Valley, as Chicken has that Grok, Zane has a Kai, and Shark has Lolita. It's a triple trifecta roam pick, which is not going to allow a lot of burst potential. I mean, you have Grok who can kind of rush in, do a lot of damage, but it takes a little bit of time for him to wind up. Kai does have the CC, so does Grok, so does Super Shark. But that puts a lot on Hoon for the AoE damage as well, but they don't have anybody to kind of like rush in, engage, and be able to get out quickly. And I'm wondering how that's going to work. Speaking of rushing and going in quickly, you are seeing them locking that Hilda on the side of Team Haq. One of the most common picked fighters, recently able to rush in, take some turret damage, get a dive, and get away. Lolia taking up that die route, able to break that armor on any of these tank compositions, definitely a smart choice. And that's something that the Valley has to watch out for when you go these heavy tank compositions. And that's one of the main reasons why I'm expecting they picked the die route in this comp. So definitely having to keep our eyes on that as well. But like I said, we're going to be doing like a live reaction to the entire thing, breaking down some things as we see it go throughout the stream. And I appreciate everybody being here today. Also, guys, if you can't hear me, let me know. I'll definitely turn down the audio if it is too loud.
We'll see who it is going to be. Ladies and gentlemen, are you
Team Haq versus the Valley? Of course, we're Team the Valley. Everybody from North America should be for sure.
We are moments away of getting into the land of Dawn. But Gunny, predictions before we get in.
Personally, looking at the composition, I'm gonna go with the Valley.
Okay, we'll wait for Gideon later, but ladies and gentlemen, let's go straight into the land of Dawn to see who will claim the next upper bracket seat.
Yeah, I think part of it is going that heavy, beefy composition. They don't have a lot of like focus. They have a lot of protection, but they don't have a lot of damage dealers. So definitely needing to play a little bit safer is going to be one of the main things they're going to have to kind of focus on.
This time and can hit level 2 without getting too much harassment or threatened by specifically Kadita.
Oh, I'm actually quite surprised. Actually, Shark is going to be able to opt for that mid side, so he wants to pressure Man a little bit more. And I'm surprised because they're not... Wait, is there a lane swap?
Oh yeah, I'm feeling like
now that was kind of crazy. A lane swap. They put 1-1 over there in the XP lane,
so lane swap is
and they put Dairoth in the gold lane. And the thing about this is Dairoth's giving Basic a hard time on this Irithel too. And I think that was one of the things that kind of threw them off as well.
But I do want to point out that Neuron Blast can be canceled out.
I see Duo Gojo from Excellent Era in the building. How you doing, my man? Steph to M5. Hey, waiting on it for next year for sure. That's the whole focus this year. Custom E10. Good morning, my man. Elite 10 in the building. You guys competing tonight? We got scheduled scrims. Make sure y'all sign up. Alright, so let's look at what's going on so far. I might make my camera a little bit smaller just so we can see. Not that small though.
Regardless if she is using Queen's Calling and trying to get on out of there.
I don't know though. I just wasn't really too big of a fan of the draft from the Valley. Now, in theory, Akai works, right? Akai has the capability to use that heavy spin, push people away, get those objectives with the retribution. If you are looking at who he's going against, though, it's not going to affect the Ling. And I think that's a really good read over there for Gary. And that's one of the problems that Blacklist is going to have over there in M4 is with this current meta, assassins work, fighters work, tanks work inside of the jungle, but assassins kind of shine a little bit better as they have that mobility You see Gary right here trying to get a possible steal. Min getting a kill over there on that Hilda already. Zane was able to take the turtle though. First blood into the hands of Team Haq.
Not enough damage to take him down just yet. Yeah.
It just really nicely played overall. I mean, Team Haq understanding, and especially Gary understanding that just.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like
wait, man, is he dead here?
you're putting a lot into the hands of Basic and Hoon.
He will not be able to escape as Zane will collect the
And this Hilda XP lane has been very, very solid so far. It's not even Hilda XP though, it's Hilda Roam. But Hilda overall has just been kind of insane. And Hilda's basically whole focus is to harass Zane in the jungle, even if he is on that tank jungle.
Therefore, I'm guessing Team Haq is most likely going to just focus on that farm, look to get the.
The problem though is the combination between Dairoth and everybody on his team. Like anytime Dairoth breaks somebody's armor, they'll be able to rush in and get some kills, especially on this beefy composition that the Valley has.
Standard, and the way I see things, even though that the turtle went towards the hands of the Valley.
Now the problem with Chicken Run and Grok, right, XP, you don't have the capability to split push. And you put in Wanwan against him, so he's already at a disadvantage. Wanwan can kind of get away from that Guardian's barrier, can harass him in that, he can harass him inside of that lane as well. And then Dairoth, you're seeing a man already there trying to focus in on Basic. The mage is down there, Gary's there with the Ling.
Right now because he's not far behind Gary, but in the bottom side.
The dire potential jumps in.
And they were waiting for that the entire time. And that's one of the things about Ling. Tempest of Blades, you have dive capability. Not only that, but Man is protected. Notice Man picked up the Kadita. So he can go in, be invulnerable inside of that tower for a dive, get a knockup. Ling can use Tempest of Blades, continue the kill. And also having the Dairoth for that instant burst damage. Like, there's nothing you can do right there, man. And I think that was a really good read. You don't see too many teams do that, switching lanes in the beginning. But I think it was impressive. And that was a turret taken in 4 minutes, bro. Insane. Literally insane. And this is where it's kind of starting, is they're harassing the side lanes, and I think it really messed up the Valley with that early swap, with Panda going to the top lane to go against Fried Chicken, and Lola going to the bottom lane to go against Basic. Now the thing that was kind of keeping them in there, Zane with these retributions, they've been pretty much on point. His jungling is not the problem right now. The problem is having a bad response to the lane swap, and that allowed them to kind of have an easier dive composition inside of the gold lane. Look at it again there. The Valley trying to respond back. It's gonna take out Lola here.
With the stun as well, your combination comes in. Real revelation, but take a look at the damage Shark. He will not fall, and it will be Lola. 3-on-1.
Not a bad play.
And Lola suffers a death outside.
But remember here, Team Haq does have an advantage in those side lanes, so they are gonna have a little bit more
Basic though, I'm wondering
in the Valley for the moment, and you can
why
already see the health. In
yo, why didn't Basic take that tower?
They're looking to get
so they got the kill. Dairoth was gone. You've seen everybody on the map. He should have went in for that tower. Honestly, I mean, yeah, they got Ling, but Ling wasn't even over there.
At this point, the laning phase is done and dusted.
Not only that, but with that misread on the top side, that was a loss in another turret for the tier 3.
And now Tempest of Blade just to escape, but take a look at that Hurricane dance.
Just get pinned on the wall by Zane. Good follow through.
Bang, bang, bang. The Valley responds in minute number 6.
And this is the thing, like when you're fighting, they're not translating any of this into objectives, and it's very hard with 2 towers already down. Another problem is they have a heavy frontline composition, and Panda ran 1-1. And with that 1-1, he has an easier time getting those weakness points because they're forced to rush into the front line as that beefy composition. So if he goes for like some Demon Hunter Sword or something to kind of pin down these physical fighters, and even just or these frontline fighters and tanks, it's going to be an easy time for Wanwan, not to mention they already have the Dairoth.
Especially with the Valley playing very defensively. Hoon even opting to go for brute force breastplate as his very first item after the boots, of course, but he needs to live and needs to start scaling.
Here's Zane. Oh, take a look at the damage from the Dairoth, man. Heavy spin as a defense. Gary will confirm the last turtle in the Land of Dawn. And Gideon, things are looking good for the Malaysians here.
I'm not counting out the Valley just
you just gotta
just yet. Even though the
not the best read, man, honestly, and they're just kind of eating them alive on this map right now.
1.77 minutes into the game.
It's the thing that they allowed this to happen. Like Grok is not really that good on. He can hold his lane, but not when you do a miss up and he's going up against a 1-1.
There's information. Haq might go for the mid side, but Lola almost solo killing.
But that is crazy. You don't typically see teams swapping lanes completely, especially in the beginning of the game.
Chicken misses the wild charge, and there you go, Team Haq with the disengage.
Yeah, it seems like Gary was able to get that blue buff away from Zayn.
I might have to try that. It's actually a really good tactic.
They were leading 1,000, now already with a 2,000 gold lead as they continue to press, continue to set their own tempo, denying anything away from Team Valley. And once again, Gary being the ever-aggressive jungler.
You can see here already 5 members from the Valley is in the mid side, failed to defend the tier 1, and Lola, he is very intelligent.
Yeah, they have no focus. They have no side lane priority. That's where they lost is the lanes. Honestly, fried chicken and basic kind of choked that.
Fried chicken cannot be able to find the kill.
Oh boy, this is well, well, at least for Team Haq,
they should have did one or two things. They should have been overly aggressive and punished the Dairoth, who was definitely having no worries rushing in on basic and staying in that mid lane. They could have pressured Dairoth, got a kill on him, you know, or 1-1, who's being overly aggressive to the Grok. There's nothing the side lanes could have did though, and that's the thing. Yet that's gonna require the mages to readjust and rotate based off of where they position themselves. So that was really not on them. That was kind of on Hoon and Shark on their response. They should have just played safe in their lane, waited, and Hoon and Shark could have came through and took advantage of the swap of lanes. And that's one of the most important things about a tank and a mage is setting that tempo for the team and having that game plan and adjusting to these tactics like the switching in lanes in the beginning.
Will not be able on time, but Nunum last catches too, and now the fight begins. One by one, bodies falling, basics down, and now Team Haq, they want war. They want Hoon here, who is covered by Shark, but crossbow tearing by Panda. One by one, bye. Panda finds the double.
This is what we were saying.
I was stressing out there.
The 1-1 is just too much, especially with the frontline composition. It's easy to get that those weakness points in that crossbow tank. I want to see 1-1's items though.
They did, and they got the way a better advantage as well. So props to Team Haq for that calculation. As you can see, the Lord is already marching down in that top side. We have 3 members, 4, 5 now up in the air, going to try and defend this. But I gotta say, the Valley, they have really good.
That's what I think they're always going to struggle on, is these teams that have a high assassin pool. Especially out there in the C server. Yeah, you can make up for running the tank jungle, and I think that's why Zayn kind of shines. But it's very hard to deal with for the off lanes, especially when they split up the composition like they did. When they make the XP lane go in the gold lane and the gold lane go in the XP lane.
All of the minions is entering the base, but TV, well done.
Yeah, they opened that door. It all started by throwing them off guard in the beginning. They threw them off guard, got them uncomfortable. They didn't know how to respond to the Dairoth versus the Iratel or the Grok versus the 1-1. Grok couldn't do anything. He can't rush in on a 1-1. And Iratel has to kind of play safe as she runs into Dairoth. Dairoth's a 1v1 king in the beginning. He's just going to burst her down. And then they just, not to mention they had the Kadita to rush in, dive in, not take any turret damage, get a knock-up, Ling with the Tempest of Blaze to follow through. Like, it's a beautiful plan when you actually break it down and think about it. Now, look at the 1-1. We talked about this, right? The Demon Hunter Sword already picked up the Corrosion Scythe and also the Malefic Roar. That right there was enough. Probably not even needing the Wind of Nature, but that right there was enough to kind of melt down the Valley's composition. You're too frontline. You have no answer for the 1-1 at all.
damage is just perfect.
Yeah, I wouldn't say no answer, but like too many answers for her crossbow Tang.
Oh, take a look at 1-1 Panda.
Whoa.
Trying to find the crossbow of Tang. Not yet.
Yeah, it's just having a crazy game over there from Panda right now.
30 seconds, the next Lord will spawn.
This is going to be really important for them. Team Haq, 6.3K so far, but if TV is able to hold on, they have a chance to make the ultimate comeback here. But Team Haq, oh, this is on a knife's edge, man. I don't know. This could really go both ways. I think that if... Here's my theory, right? I think if the Valley, and especially for Super Shark, when he does have his flicker, he's looking to hit 1 or 2 people. He's looking to
not a high kill game though. 12 minutes in.
Panda is a little harder because he
but
immune to CC for a
like I said, they just had no answer. Like they can just push when they want to, and the Valley really cannot respond to it with the composition that they have. They have too much front line. Not enough. Not enough. They have like defense, but not enough offense.
And that gives opportunity for Gary to try and pull another echo. But look at this.
They put everything into the hands of Hoon and Basic.
They need to be careful here as the
Not to mention Grok has its full damage, so it's gonna be easier for Wawan to melt him down. There we go, frontline composition. This is, I'm telling you, Panda is the key to taking them down with this 1-1.
Can he get the triple? But oh my goodness, 4 bodies from the Valley.
It was a misdraft.
In the line of dawn.
White Chicken,
Who's
the
a
only
misdraft?
one left to defend this base as Team Haq. They're looking to push.
What's up,
that
Shockwave?
top
How you
and
doing?
that mid-side. Will it be enough here, Goni?
We'll see. We'll see. Base turret top side will fall here. White Chicken, the sole man, while charged as a Hail Mary. And there you go. Team Haq will find the dub against the NA Rep, the Valley.
The next upper bracket slot is going to fall to the Malaysian representatives. Congratulations,
Bro, that
Team
was
Haq.
such a fast
And
such a
wow,
fast
what
game.
A game by them, beautifully executed, very well done, very aggressive from that early game.
I gotta say, honestly, like,
Difficult for the Valley to
look at the
get
dude playing the
any
drum.
opening on the
Yo,
board.
this look like a music video. This man ready to drop a mixtape. Malaysia's crazy.
This is only one step before we take our leaps of faith here.
Yeah, they're
at
definitely
F4.
pissed.
But what a game. Very
They're
cool,
definitely
very
pissed.
tactical, very much on the
All right,
macro.
let's rewind it a little bit though,
The
right?
second phase,
Like if we look at
I would have thought that
what options the Valley had currently, right? Looking at the draft, and I think it's like looking at what's picked in. Like Diggy was banned, Glue was banned,
taking it in the first phase. and
Martis,
excited to see
Joy,
what that next pick was
Carrie, Claude,
from the side
Franco,
of the
Cho,
Valley to see
Diggy,
exactly how they're
Fanny.
starting to round things up, but it is a Grok, and this Grok is also flex potential.
Yeah, I think Rock is really, really.
I don't know why it's
smart
not showing their
to
picks.
deny Team Haq, because I was thinking, okay.
Okay,
there's
so
only
here
a
we
couple
go.
of things that really
So,
work out,
looking at this right now,
specifically for
I
Haq
feel
to
like
counter this particular composition, and Grok came up to mind, even Cho, but that
Fried Chicken shouldn't have locked in the Grok. There was no need for, like, what here screams we need a Grok for this composition? I'm wondering what the plan was and why they locked that in. I think that kind of was the start to this downfall of their draft, right? Fried Chicken, like, you already knew Gary had.
of that Grok. So well,
Gary already had the Dyroth, right? Dyroth is going to eat Grok alive with that pin, especially if he has some assistance. And Fried Chicken is the XP lane. So I'm not really for that pick. Maybe going for something that could have stopped Dyroth from popping off would have been an easier time. And also a hero that, like, even a Paquito could have possibly worked here to jump in on that Dyroth. I mean, you could even possibly use something like I would say Fredrin, but Dyroth might be able to burst him down. Heck, even a Benedetta. Even a Benedetta wouldn't have been bad because you would have had the mobility to split push against the Dyroth, create that opportunity. You would have been able to possibly get to the back line, take out Min or Panda. So, I don't know. I just feel like Zane, the Akai wasn't bad. Hoon and Shark, that wasn't a bad. I mean, you gave Panda the Kadita so she can rush in and try and kind of delay Hoons from using that manipulation, but it's not the worst option. But when you lock in the Grok, I need to figure out like what was the. It just doesn't make sense, bro. Honestly, it really doesn't make sense. I think that's what threw off their composition. You had Shark, you had Zane, both running tanks. He needed to run a fighter. They needed a fighter that could go in, go out. A Paquito, a Benedetta, may have been able to even pull it off. Heck, even a Yu Zong could have possibly did it. But that would have required a lot more front line. I would have said maybe a Paquito or a Paquito or a Benedetta would have been something I would have chose. Considering it is 1-1 can rush in and get that crossbow Tang. If you really wanted some additional CC or something too, like they could have ran, bro, they could have even pulled out a Ruby, honestly, because Ruby has the sustainability. She would have been able to stay alive in that lane for a long time, even if, let's say, Panda wanted to dive Ruby with that Kadita. Like, all Kadita has to do is dash out, and she can stay in the lane. Like, one of the things Kadita or Ruby kind of shines in is sustainability, especially when it comes to like a 3v1 gank inside of that tower, because she can stun everybody at the same time. I don't know, and I just feel like there's just so many options. Kadita, when you're going up against that, you need to have an answer for the dives. Fried Chicken picking up the Grok to answer to Gary on that Dairoth, not really understanding it. Like a Paquito, Benedetta, a possible Ruby may have been a better option, and I think that's kind of where they took the downfall in this draft. And then, like I said, the assassin meta, especially out there in the C server in Malaysia, Lola taking up that Ling.
They're sticking to what they know best, right?
It's not easy to go into, man. And that when you see a Ling and you see a Kadita, that is telling you they are gonna instantly dive towers. That means your side lanes are in trouble, right? You need something to stop it. On top of that, look at Man locks in that Hilda to kind of seal the deal. And this is Hilda Rome, bro. So that is gonna confirm they are diving the mess out of these turrets. And it starts, I want to say it starts in the bottom side as they take out basic, and then they translate it up to the top side and take out chicken after that. So yeah, it's definitely not the easiest thing to jump into. What's up, Zero? Doing 1-1 chain kills like that. I would have chosen a stronger marksman at range. Clint's a good option too. Yeah, Clint would have been good. One thing Irithel does have though that Clint doesn't is mobility, which could have possibly saved him from these dives, but still. But at the same note though, it's a good point you made that, but at the same note, like, they didn't even have a chance to face off because the way that Team Haq kind of focused in the beginning, they put 1-1 in the XP lane. So it was 1-1 on Grok, bro. But I do agree with the Clint being a good pick. I do agree with the 1-1 being the good pick, and for their side, for the side of Team Haq, and for the other side, I mean, Irithel still could have pulled it off. I think Clint would have been a good answer too, but I definitely feel like when they put them in the opposing lanes, that's what kind of tripped everybody up. We got Pika Pika in the building. What's up, my brother? How you doing? Yeah, good front line, maybe support to protect the back line would have been better. Yeah, I mean, for sure. Yeah, you don't want triple tank. Even a support, I would have took that. Bro, even Shark could have ran something else. He could have ran a support if Fried Chicken was going to run a Grok.
I'm feeling like Malaysia's going to be known for.
I know it's a comfort pick, but still.
This is becoming our staple strategy at this point.
They should have switched lanes after the first wave, but did exactly. That's another good point right there. Is they didn't adjust to it. They just dealt with it. They instead of adjusting, they just allowed it to happen. Like, look at this. Pause on the map right. Pause on the map right now. You are seeing even in the beginning, you're seeing the heavy aggression, right? First of all, Dairoth is forced to fight a little bit closer to if he wants to take out Basic, but he has to play a little safer because Basic has range. But Basic can't push out because if he pushes out too far, Dairoth's gonna burst him down. Especially with that Hilda roam, you don't know where Hilda is, bro. And Hilda is super fast, can take some turret damage and secure that kill even if Dairoth couldn't. And I think that's really what we've seen was a heavy dive composition. Ling can dive, Hilda can dive, Kadita can dive. You know what I mean? So everybody on the team has that capability, and that's really where it shined. And then picking up that 1-1 who can easily chain that damage and get those weakness points when you have a frontline composition like an Akai, a Grok in Super Shark. Like even that shield from Lolita is not enough to negate that crossbow of Tang. You know, so I don't know, just a bad read in terms of the draft. And I hope going forward for the Valley, they kind of read it a little bit better. But speaking of the Valley, let's also jump into their game versus, who was it, RRQ AKIRA? I want to watch that one too. That one was a good game. That one was fire, bro. Honestly, I think RRQ AKIRA kind of surprised me with how well they performed. This is a team out from Brazil. And they did really well. I think it was funny because when they were doing the interviews and they asked Zayn like how he felt about, you know, his group, he thought it was gonna be an easy walkthrough, and honestly, a lot of people did. It's just different, bro. It's not like Echo Philippines. Like they have MPL and all that. The Valley doesn't. Neither does. I mean, RRQ Brazil does. They have their own little MPL over there, but it's not. It's a regional competition, if you know what I mean. It's different, bro. RRQ AKIRA match felt like a 4v5. I mean, looking at the draft, they allowed the Joy to walk. I was questioning that too. I was wondering if they had a response. A lot of teams don't let the Joy walk. But Hoon did pick up that Faramis. Basic picked up the carry for some possible late game damage, but they don't have a beefy composition. And they also picked up a Lolita to counter the carry. And so that makes carry not really the best option. When Takashi locked in that Benedetta, he has a lot more mobility. He can get away from a carry easily. And he can also rush into a carry and finish her off with that assassin comp. And I don't know, just looking at the comp so far, I just feel like, I don't know if, I really don't feel like carry was the right answer for this comp. Maybe picking something that could give, you know, the Claude a harder time. I mean, even a Leslie, who is not banned, would have been a direct counter to the Claude. Yeah, I don't know. Not really the best answer over there with basic with the carry. Hoon has sustainability. He provided the Faramis. Now he does have that ult in effect, which is great. One thing he does have to watch out for is Luis, though, on that Lolita, because he can stun him in that animation for that Cole Altar before he procs it over there on Faramis. So that's definitely something to watch out for as well. What's that? Fried chicken on Lapu Lapu going up against Takashi. I don't mind that too much. I don't think that's like too hard of a loss. I mean, Lapu Lapu's been dominating in the XP lane. Now, the difference between them two, though, Lapu Lapu's a stronger frontline presence, but Takashi playing that Benedetta is able to split push more, kind of proxy those minions, has more mobility, and can travel, you know, traverse across the map for these neutral objectives. And I think that's where Lapu or Fried Chicken's gonna have a hard time, is he's not as mobile. So he can win the fight in the XP lane. He could probably be a stronger presence in terms of 5v5 clashes as that strong front line, but that means that a lot of opportunity in terms of split pushing is definitely going to lean into the favor of Takashi on Benny. Now, looking at Segan taking this Xavier. Xavier actually has been dominating all the way from early to late game now, and that's a strong pickup. Not to mention, I mean, Hoon's running the Faramis mid. It does a little bit of damage as well. It also provides sustainability, but Xavier is going to rain with damage and also CC. And then to top it off, they have Lolita with the Numenon Blast. Now, you do have Shark on Mathilda. Shark can kind of cancel the Numenon Blast if he's fast enough. He can use that Circling Eagle, rush in, and stop it. And you do have Zayn on the Fredrin for the frontline composition. So they have strong frontline presence. They have a little bit of sustainability. So I can't knock this draft too much. It's not that bad. But one thing that they do not have in their composition is a direct answer for Joy. I don't know, maybe the energy eruption over there by Fredrin may be what they need to stop that Joy from kind of using the sound of music to rush in and get these kills.
2v1 especially if you get an early lead. So far, solid draft from the Valley.
I noticed the Valley's draft focuses hard on zoning and melee with very little AoE type damage. What I disagree with is the Fredrin pick, knowing Joy is up. Yeah, I don't know. I thought maybe it was because of the energy eruption. Maybe he's trying to taunt him in place. But I mean, Joy is very hard to deal with in general. That's why I prefer just to take it out, honestly.
Way more mobility in their arsenal. They do have a lot.
But I don't know. When you allow the Joy to kind of walk through, you gotta have an answer for it, bro. So we'll see how Joy kind of does in this match.
It's gonna be tough here. I'm not sure. Well, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, but there's only one way to define it. It's through battle. Welcome everybody. It's RRQ AKIRA going up against the Valley in this best of one. Good luck to both teams.
Oh, this is getting so exciting. I mean, right now we can already see that Louise opening up the map.
Look at that, a Joy jungle versus a Fredrin jungle.
Because everyone talks about the Valley, and they always
That's
say
like
that
some of the
Nova
problems
Zane
with some of these
is
teams,
one
though,
of
is
the
they
main
only
pillars
have
of
beefy jungle compositions, like, and I think that's where other teams are gonna shine, like your Carl, you know, your Kyrie, being able to shine on these assassins. Like these assassin junglers are gonna have an easier time. The higher mobility, it does come in handy, especially when you pull out a dive composition, when you pull out a Hilda or something like that. So
I want to see how it plays out, right? If we're gonna have our answer at some point here, Gideon.
Absolutely. We want to see that highlight reel. Oh no.
That's already gonna be the first of blood drawn here by Team.
how did he even get over there so fast? Alright, let's take a look at Takashi, because Takashi was the saving grace and the deciding factor in the early game for the side of RRQ Brazil. So we're gonna keep an eye on Takashi. Look, he already cleared the lanes, and now he's cutting to the mid.
If we're gonna have our answer at some point here, Gideon.
Absolutely.
Why is Hoon so overextended?
That's already gonna be the first of blood drawn out, right?
Wait, why was Hoon sitting there?
Have our answer at some point here, Gideon.
Absolutely. We want to see that highlight reel. Oh no.
He was.
That's already gonna be the first of
You know why?
drawn here by
I think he was expecting Shark to dash out and save him, but Shark did not have level 2, so Shark didn't have his second skill to dash. And I think, yeah, that was a huge misplay, bro. I'm kind of scratching my head, dude. This dude was, bro, look at that one more time. Look where Hoon is. When do we ever go there that early?
our answer at some point here.
Why is he taking the fight right there? Like, first of all, look where Joy's at on the map. Joy's getting a red buff. It's not like they have anybody to contest. Moba Zane is all the way at his red buff. So you have Shark and Hoon. They're the only ones in the mid. They know where their Lapu's at. And obviously Lapu should have said that Benedetta was cutting. I don't know if that was a lack of communication, because as soon as if I was Lapu and I seen Benedetta cut my lane and go this way, I'm 100% knowing she's going to that mid lane. And I'm looking on the map and I'm saying, Hoon, you need to back up. Benedetta's on the way. So I don't know if it was miscommunication. They need to shot call a little bit better. They got to shot call a little bit better, because that was way too long of a translation time for Hoon to stay there and Benedetta able to go all the way from the XP lane and get to him and get the kill. That literally means, like, that takes some time. And so Lapu should have definitely said, hey, I don't see Benedetta on that. I mean, even when I would coach my teams, like, that's one thing we're big on is if you don't see them on the map, do not just assume they're in your bush. Like, especially when you got to realize the capability that, especially when, like, I run XP lane, like, you know what certain fighters are going to do. Like, you know when you go up against a Benedetta, they're going to split push. They're going to constantly harass that mid lane after they take those creeps on, or those minions on your side. So, yeah, I don't know why Hoon was overly aggressive right there. And Shark not having level 2, not having that dash to save him, he literally just gave him a free kill. I mean, you're rushing into Xavier CC on top of that.
Blood drawn here by Takashi.
I don't know. Doesn't make sense.
That was an interesting movement coming in from Takashi, because
that,
again, he's clearing up the way.
You can't do stuff like that.
He also get the gold crab. He gets the kill, gets the gold crab.
And I think that's like,
for himself, all because of an individual.
Maybe Hoon kind of new to the not new, but this is first time with the Valley, you know, with Zane and them, and I feel like you got to chill on the over aggression. This is like minor mistakes, like these 1 kills translate into huge wins as the match progresses when it's top teams. They know how to make the most out of a little bit of a gold lead.
Notice the movements across the map here. Again, Joy and Benedetta just cutting off the waves.
Yeah, you see, there goes Benedetta. And this is all right. So this is what we talked about, right? Benedetta, the thing she has against Lapu's a great fighter. I'm not saying it was a wrong pick, right? But Benedetta has more mobility at her disposal. Even an Esmeralda could have been okay. Like, if you run Lapu, you have to let your team know, like, I'm not going to be able to out-rotate a Benedetta. Yeah, I can win in the fights. That's great. You already have good frontline, though, with the Fredrin. So I think they should have ran something with more mobility, to be honest with you. That mobility would have definitely kept them in there. But without more mobility, you have to make up for at least shout calling where Benedetta goes. And this is the thing, like, we're going to see traditionally throughout this entire match is Takashi clearing the lanes and creating the opportunity. This is one of the things I love about Benedetta.
Going to be spawning 20 seconds on the bottom side of the map. The Valley understand this, putting their pressure on that top side to maybe
Khalid would have kept Benny in check. I mean, Khalid has mobility. I don't see ever Khalid in MPL though, or M4.
First turtle of the game is going to be up here in just a couple seconds.
Esmeralda, Uranus,
The question is, how does
anybody with a little bit more mobility.
That he has, knowing that this first turtle comes up, it could be anyone's ball game, especially the Petrify's there. You've got the Electro final blow, and you're going to see the battle out for it already.
Heck, even a Yuzong, to be honest with you.
Juggle it around. This turtle dance, Luis going to charge up the flicker in, not going to connect though. Still the fight goes on. It's going to be red treat away by King. The king of the jungle stands for now as they secure the first turtle.
King.
But he's going to get focused.
Good response. They got to kill, even though they lost the turtle. That's not bad.
To take out King.
So, I mean,
And that's where this is where Chicken's gonna shine. Is he is stronger in clashes running that Lapu Lapu than the Benedetta traditionally typically would be. But if Benedetta gets fed, which he does get fed, then that's when it becomes a problem.
Obviously, you would like to be able to survive and get the turtle at the same time, and especially when you're a teammate.
They got a kill, only got one kill though. So I mean, it even up the scoreboard though. They're even in gold.
Capitalize on it because again, their early game heroes is literally just Takashi, and maybe even you can make an argument for Gusta Lagusta at this point. But Sagan needs to scale up. King needs more farm, and Gusta Lagusta just keep.
In the early game, Mobazane and Fried Chicken are gonna kind of lead the way in these clashes. Basic will rev up over there with the carry, and Hoon will do some damage and provide that sustainability. But late game is definitely in the hands of Basic. But they have the Lolita, and that's one of the things. Like those Speedy Light Wells are just gonna rush into a shield.
That's exactly what they're doing. Basic is also farming really comfortably at this point.
Oh, they're going to put pressure here on the purple buff. RRQ, AKIRA going to do their best to just try to secure it, but King going to go ahead and use those beats to get out just in time.
Those beats.
Always knowing the truth.
Yeah, Joy, I don't know. I hate running against the Joy, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. She's very hard to deal with. But you know who beats Joy? Surprisingly, a Glue.
The battle for the purple buff. Luis gonna charge up, gets him right on target. It's Mobazane gonna be in trouble. Cold Salter plus the guiding win. There's a flicker from Hoon as well, all for the purple buff.
Oh no, that's so unfortunate. Sagan actually had a great opportunity to punish, but wasn't able to actually open up the gates there to lock him down.
That was a good push by the Valley, though. You gotta respect that push.
Small little moment for Mobazane to get on out of here. But now Takeshi is actually struggling against Fried Chicken.
There you go again. Takeshi online. He's gonna go ahead and proxy those minions. Sustainability. That's one of the things. Like Benedetta, especially when you build that Bloodless Axe, you're gonna have a lot of sustainability to stay in these fights.
Trying to set up first.
That spell vamp too much to deal with.
Super Shark already on the way, already opening up vision. They don't want to give that early game lead that they've
Misithar? I think Misithar can stop her.
To the Brazilian representatives, but here we go.
They're gonna start it up, looking for it. Like the final blow did come out. Who's gonna secure it? It's King, but Mobazane going in as well with the guiding win and circling eagle combination. King falls again for the turtle. It's another trade though. Everybody low on the Valley as one after another fall. Luis to get the double. Hoon and Fried Chicken the backside. Not gonna be enough though, as another member's gonna fall here. Fried Chicken only to stand.
Man, 3 for
Wait, hold on.
trade here, Gideon. What the heck?
Yeah, beautifully played.
Look at that turtle play again.
But here we go.
They're gonna.
All right, let's look at placement so far, right? I mean, you got backline. You got the scary thing is Xavier. When you have nothing to check the Xavier, he's gonna make you pay.
Started up, looking for it like a final.
So look at Segan. Nobody was able to rush over to him. Look at, this is one of the things that we talked about. Like, Takashi is in this fight, right? He's been over in that map for a while. And look at Chicken. And this is the problem when you run Lapu Lapu on a Benedetta. Look how long it took for him to get in that clash, right? And this is the difference when you have a 5v4 on a neutral objective. It's easier to zone out the Valley and get it into the hands of Takashi. Not only were they able to take that first blood over on Hoon, but with that Benedetta, she's a playmaker. She makes plays by kind of proxying that lane, pushing those minions, and going for these neutral objectives. And that's how she was able to create that 5v4 situation to to keep the Valley uncomfortable to be able to stay in that fight. And that's how they took that objective. Yeah, Chicken came in, but he came in after the turtle was already gone. And this is what I said, like maybe a better response would be something to keep up with the mobility. It's a mobility issue for sure. Like this is the thing. Like a lot of people sleep on the XP lane and what it offers. But like you have to have something to answer. You cannot just not have an answer for this. Like Lapu Lapu is a great frontline, but it's not going to be important at all if he's not able to be in the fights because he can't make it there in time because he's steady having to defend his minions. In all honesty, it might have been even better for him to not even clear his minions and he could have just went straight for that turtle. Because I don't know, at least they would have got the turtle. I don't know. That it's a difficult situation, man. Honestly, it's hard either way it goes. That's why I would say like maybe something with mobility. A Yu Zong. This is where Yu Zong would have been okay. Because Yu Zong, you could have used the Black Dragon. He could have traversed across the map. He could have caught up and dropped in, especially on the Xavier. And that's one of the things where you could have shot a drop down. You hit the Petrify, take him out. Only thing you have to watch out for, is that Claude. Also, you have a knockup. Bro, he can jump into, you can jump into Lolita and cancel her ult. Like, there's just a lot. You can Black Dragon when Lolita uses her ult and not get stunned. Yeah, you have Lapu Lapu, you have immunity, you have the Bravest Fighter with the Raging Slash. That gives a little bit of immunity to CC, but I don't know, man. I just feel like a lot of these 4v5 situations is what translated into the victory for the side of RRQ Brazil.
Going in as well with the guiding wind, circling eagle combination. King falls again for the turtle. It's another trade though. Everybody low on the Valley as one after another fall. Luis to get the double. Hoon and Fly Chicken the backside. Not gonna be enough though. As another member's gonna
look how long Fried Chicken was able to stay in that fight. And that's the thing. If the fighter was there, these fights would not turn out like this. It was 3v1 and he's still eating all that damage. And that's the thing Lapu can do, but if he can't make it to the fights, it's gonna happen every time. Look, Takashi wasting no time. Cuts it again.
We'll pull up the replay just in case you guys missed the action, and we'll break it down from there. Because number one, the position that we see from the Valley wasn't as good compared to RRQ. And more importantly, once the abilities start running on through, Takashi is already...
Xavier's scary too, man. He's a very solid pickup.
Alive, being able to overwhelm and out damage, isolating the right targets once Mobazane fell.
I mean, Luis is on point so far with these.
So guys, we are going to be doing breakdowns like this for every team, 4M4 every single match. So definitely tune in. It's all going to be exclusive on YouTube. So if you guys have any teams you want us to break down later today, we are going to be going live again to break down some more. So definitely drop them in the comments, and we will. Okay.
Cutting that deep into the wave, right? I mean, it is pretty much happening on both sides, but still.
I don't know. I got my eye on. Now the thing about RRQ Brazil is they lost to. Who did they lose to recently, guys? Was it S11 Gaming? Argentina, right?
Getting a little chunk in terms of that health, but I think maybe King
I think so.
Something here.
I think they're still going to put pressure here. Under the turret they go. Everybody joining the fight on the top side. Electro final blow, the Petrify. Takashi able to get the double. Can't get...
This is the problem is literally the XP. Bro, look at Bennett. Bro, let's rewind this a little bit. All right, look where Benny is right now, right? This is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the split push capability. Benedetta goes all the way to almost the base of the Valley. Takashi's gonna proxy these minions. Look where Lapu Lapu is. He is late. He is late to the party. He is just now going for the minions. Benedetta's been there. Bro, he's late. He's late to the engagements. And when he's late to these engagements, this is why this happens. This is what I'm talking. Bro, Benedetta is the key. Takashi is the playmaker for this team right now. Watch Takashi.
Look how confident he is. He's cutting that deep into the wave, right? I mean, it is pretty much happening on both sides. But
now,
still,
with him being overly aggressive, they don't even have a chance to respond because they're displaced for the side of the Valley. So he not only was able to proxy that minion, and that's okay. I mean, that's what fighters do. But like I said, like you need a mobile fighter who can do the same thing, or you're always gonna be late to these engagements. And I think this is the story. This is where RRQ Brazil made them pay.
That's the beauty of the Benedetta, I guess. And we're gonna take a little sneak into the emblems, but before we get into that, here's super.
Wait, I'm confused. Why did
Shark getting a little chunked in terms of that health, but
Shark is just lost, bro? Bro, look at the map real quick. Watch. Okay, watch. Not Shark. My bad. Chicken. Watch Chicken on Lapu Lapu.
But still, the upper hand.
Where is he going?
for Takashi.
that's the beauty of
He
the
stops,
Benedetta,
right?
I guess, and we're gonna take a little.
Okay, he just stopped and he's hiding in that bush. Bro, nobody's there. Benedetta's not Benedetta's making plays, so Benedetta's not wasting any time. Shark's just like guarding bushes that nobody's in. So watch. Benedetta's gonna cross the river. Obviously, you get vision from oh, you don't have vision yet. Actually, no, you do.
Chunked in terms of that health, but I
Now watch.
maybe
Watch.
King wants to go
Benedetta's already halfway up to that lane.
here.
Shark's in the mid.
Pressure here under the turret they go. Everybody joining the fight on the top side. Electro final blow, the petrify. Takashi able to get the double. Can't get Hoon. Moba Zane a little bit too late to the party. Gets the taunt off though.
It's just
Hoon
the
picking
Benedetta.
up a kill.
It's out
But
rotation.
Look at the backside is Fried Chicken. Finds one for himself. But ultimately.
There you go, Chicken. Chicken. I like he caught up. He caught up right there. I can't knock that one. He did catch up right there.
Now Takashi gonna be caught in a position of a one
Too late though.
versus
Benedetta already got a
three.
double kill.
Does he still commit to it? He bobs, he weaves. Moba Zane still sticking to him. Takashi should be able to survive.
A 2-for-2 trade overall. A really good setup dive for the side of RRQ. And I think RRQ, AKIRA had a really good idea. They should have cut their losses as soon as King was out of position. Back away. You
Yeah,
don't
they
need
played
to
overly
take
aggressive.
else, but the Valley's taking one step
It's a good
forward,
read.
getting and buying time for White Chicken to jump right into the middle of that fight to even out the score.
Y'all notice they
Now we're
swapped
gonna see
lanes?
once again the setup.
Y'all notice that, right? Look at Benedetta. Benedetta's now topside. Look at Chicken. Chicken's still bottom. Both marksmen are bottom, so this top lane is vulnerable.
For the next turtle, but I saw that Gusa Lagusa already had the golden staff as well as basic.
So they're gonna take the turtle over a tower.
Now, but remember that is going to be the key item for Gusa Lagusa as once again they're going in for an end game.
It could work out if
Hold
they get the
trigger on
kills.
second. They push him back here. They get the turret though. Dawning Light's gonna come out. Turtle still work on. Gusa Lagusa though, able to grab a kill for himself, but they do trade the turtle. Nothing too much after that.
White Chicken is playing so.
Now, I always say turret is more important than turtle because the turret is what opens up the map. Turtle just gives you shield and additional gold. Honestly, it's just a hard game for Fried Chicken. He's not doing too bad. I mean, he's 2-0-1, but like in terms of what he's allowing to happen because of the pick he chose, this is why the Valley's having a hard time. It's the Benedetta. It's the Benedetta. It's 100%. It's the cuts. Even like when Benedetta's across the map, like he cannot catch up in time, and then even that engagement right there, like he did. Benedetta just went and pushed the tower in for free. Yeah, they got the turtle. Great. They're still down a gold though, and also they're down a tower now. That's more map for this side of RQ Brazil.
1,300 gold in their hands of RRQ AKIRA right now. I mean, at this point, I want to know, has the Valley been playing into AKIRA's tempo right now? But oh, wait a minute.
Relying on Fredton alone to catch this mobile. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, bro, I would ban Joy. Like, what are you gonna use to catch? Like, glue works on Joy. Somebody said Missathar. Maybe Kaja, but Kaja was banned. But even so, like I don't think you'd be able to burst Joy down.
Yeah, I just want to know what's happening here. How did RRQ actually pick up the lead? I mean, earlier on, the Valley seemed to have the tempo.
Joyce
They seemed to be
is
confident
too
with
fast.
what they were doing. Are they playing a little too aggressively?
Chicken is a
into
problem in these
RRQ
games.
Brazil?
Zane is picking sustained junglers, expecting Hoon and basically carry, but they're not good enough to carry.
Her relevance and her power, her strength in the earlier stages of game 3 level 4.
There goes another tower.
Unfortunately for White Chicken, that's
I mean, Zane, he doesn't really have a, like, he's more of a tank kind of jungler and a fighter jungler. Like, he has a couple assassins, but I don't know.
Takashi
I
has
wonder if he's gonna
already
pull some out
enabled
in
RRQ
M4.
AKIRA to get this lead is already great because that was the toughest part. Now they just need Gusto.
But no, I think the problem here is definitely the Benedetta, because he can't out-rotate a Benny with the Lapu.
Yes, he can hyper.
I think too much focus on the fight in the XP lane and not the opportunity that the fighter's creating.
Yeah, I think that's the downside of a carry, right? The range. The range is a big factor here. So you really got to be careful.
Now, Fredgen on the
your
jungle.
positioning is, right? Now, the Valley at this point almost
It's
10
hard,
minutes
but
in,
I mean,
they don't
at the
have a
same
turret
point,
just yet, so
they're not. It's not even. I would say that if like Fredgen was the reason why they're losing these towers, but they're not losing these towers because of it. I don't even think it mattered who Zane jungled on. Well, I can't say that. I mean, if you ran an assassin or something, you could split push and not make it as easy. But like, I think it's the Benedetta. Like, yeah, Benedetta in the mid lane. It's the lack of chicken shot calling to Hoon. That Benedetta is going to the mid lane in the first 2 minutes of the game to get a kill. Like, there's no reason Hoon should have died right there. No reason. That's Hoon's fault. That's the entire team's fault, honestly. I mean, it doesn't even when I was playing professionally on my team, like, everybody's responsible for everybody, right? Like, you got to call out to your team if you're overextending. You got to even Shark was right next to him. Like, Shark could have been like, yo, you got to back up. Like, Benedetta's, I don't know how they didn't know Benedetta was right there. He's their star, but they're not using him as their star. Zane plays decent Lance, but his wide assist and Granger is always good. I don't mind meta matters. We saw Eurodora the other day. I mean, you can pull it off. I just feel like with these overseas teams, they just need to have a response to the draft. That's all it is. Like, if you have a Benedetta, you need to have mobility. If you have Joy, you need to have something to stop the Joy if you're gonna allow it to walk. Like, that's okay for them to walk, but we're just not seeing answers. You know, there's not an answer for the Joy. There's not an answer for Takashi on the Benedetta.
They have a perfect time. They can
Really
Basic picking up the carry. I'm not even really a fan of that here. They don't even have a beefy composition to really need it. I would have preferred a Clint or a Leslie instead of a carry. That's what I'm wondering, like, why they pick the things they pick. Can it work? 100% it can work, but like, there's better options out there.
Gusta going in. What a petrify from Takashi. Able to find a basic, the perfect target needed.
Takashi's 6-0-2, bro.
Wow.
With a kill for himself. 3 down for the Valley. And they're still going. What a mystic field with King for the cleanup. And now it's a MOBA Zane left alive. And that's going to be the wipeout.
I don't think Zane will ever put Fredgen on Joy again.
For RRQ AKIRA.
That was insane. The way that they played that team.
Yeah,
was
super
so
suspect.
beautiful, so
Bro,
peaceful, and that's gonna give
Bro, if you watch
RRQ
the first
AKIRA a
minute of this game, bro, he literally, I have never seen somebody play that close to a turret in the beginning. Not his turret, but like the enemy mid lane turret. Look at Claude. Hold on, let me rewind that play. Let me watch it one more time.
A mini Blacklist International, a lot of their macro.
AKIRA.
It's a MOBA Zane left alive. Perfect target needed. He is going to be just...
All right, pause this real quick. You got basic Zane, Hoon, mobilized from Xavier over there onto Mathilda. Again, Chicken, late to the party, right? Look at Benny. Look at Chicken. We're going to keep this going, though.
Taking the front of this damage. They're going to go on.
By the time Chicken's still not there, one member's fallen.
Sniped down with the dawning light. Gusta going in.
2 members fallen. Look at Chicken! Bro, he's literally... I can't make this up. It's not his fault, though. He's not running somebody with mobility to keep up with Benedetta. Bro, that is 2 people down. It's always a 5v4 situation. It was the same thing in the beginning of the game, right? It was a 5v4 on the turtle push. It was a 5v4 in the top lane when Benny got that double kill. Then Chicken made up for it, and he was able to get there and stop them as they overstayed their welcome. But Joy was in the bushes, technically not in the fight. It's still the fact that they have the fight, like they have Benedetta there, and Chicken's not. Like Chicken is not. He's not in these engagements. Benedetta's that's his responsibility. Like, he is the XP lane. Like, his responsibility is the XP lane.
What a petrify.
So I would say, like, like, I'm always a fan of, like, if they're gonna hard, like, it just depends on the comp. I mean, if you go Lapu because you need a strong frontline sustainability and burst potential, that's great. But they need something else. I don't know. I would have drafted something to keep up with the mobility personally.
From
Because then Benny can't cut as easily. And if Benny does cut, like, at least you're cutting with her, you know?
Able to find a basic, the perfect target.
Bro, and yeah, he joins the fight. Hold on, let's see if he gets a kill.
Wow.
Bro, hold on. All right, let's watch Chicken.
Petrify from Takashi. Able to find a basic,
Watch Chicken right here. Look at Chicken. Watch. Missed. You ready?
Wow.
You see? Bro, I can't make this up. I can't.
With a kill for himself, 3 down
Oh,
for the
oh my
Valley.
God.
Still going
The
with
flicker.
Field with King for the cleanup. And
Ready to hit
Momozen
anything.
left alive, and that's going to be the wipeout for the Valley. What a massive play for RRQ AKIRA.
That was insane.
Oh, man.
The way that they played that team fight was so beautiful. So
I can't make this up.
textbook. And that's
I
gonna
think
give
Xavier.
RRQ AKIRA
It's a good read. That was some good. Bro, that was some good micro.
Get it now.
That was some
I get
footwork
it why
over
you were
there.
saying it was like a mini Blacklist International. A lot of their macro play is centralized.
And
around
Xavier's
one
not even a hero of mobility, bro. He just walked out of all of that.
covering all of your bases, making it very difficult for the Valley to keep up.
Yeah.
Even if they're just
He could have just stayed in the bottom and took the tower, honestly. That would have been better than running in there getting a full wipeout.
Just by looking for these strong engages, and especially keeping your eyes.
Not only he gave him a kill and he didn't take a tower. There's no answers for these objectives.
From start to here. I mean, that's what got them the first blood, right?
I don't get it, though, and honestly, like,
but they're still going to be focusing here on the
I can't. I don't know. We'll see.
Let's
Let's see how they respond from here.
They've got the Lord to handle the mid lane eventually, but they might get sandwiched in.
All right, let's pause this real quick, though, bro. Like, if you look at the map, like, bro, there's just synergy too. Like, they haven't lost a single turret for RRQ.
Here for that tier 2. Look at the backside. Takashi goes in.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you're gonna focus lane, and that's the thing. Like, there's nothing like, you know you're gonna lose in mobility. So like, the trade-off should be Benedetta's gonna cut to you guys. Play safe. Watch out for Benny. I'm gonna take these towers. Every time Benny wants to cut, that's fine, because I'm answering with an objective. But he's like lost in the XP lane. Like, he's like, Benny's cutting. I'm overwhelmed. I'm going to try and cut for this buff behind Benny, but by the time I get to the fight, 2 of my team members are dead. I may be able to get a kill, but no, I don't get the kill, and we get a wipeout, and I didn't even take the tower, and now they're going to go take our tower because our full team is dead. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I definitely think if you're going to run the Lapu Lapu and you're not going to be able to keep up with the Benedetta, just win your lane. Take your towers in your lane. You're already losing in these fights because you're rotating too late. You're not mobile enough, so... People said they're hiding their picks, but now they're in super vulnerable position. 1 loss in there. I know.
That they're gonna lose more
1 best of 3.
The front to back, the peel, the damage.
I hope they
coming
pick it
in
up,
from that back
but
line from Sagan. You can feel it, and it makes sense
the thing
looking at the items that
with these teams though is like, these weren't even teams that were predicted in top 4 of M4. Like, these are teams that were predicted in like top 8 to top 16. You know, RQ Brazil, I want to say, was like close to the top 8, but I don't know, man. Team Haq, they were both close to the top 8, I would say, but not top 4. They weren't top 4 for sure. I think top 4 was like, what, Falcon Esports, Onyx Indonesia, Echo Philippines, and Blacklist.
already obtained earlier, but once again onto the mid lane.
So if they're having a hard time against these teams, oh, dude.
Salt Lord's gonna be handled.
But honestly, some teams are just other teams' kryptonite. Like, some teams just are really good at taking people down. I think it's like what Todak is Onyx Indonesia's kryptonite. Like, some teams just have teams they're just not good against, man.
Clear it up as they hold on to both inhibitor turrets, but still, do they press the issue here? Another Mystic Field. The Dawning Lights have all been on point, like you mentioned.
They're just slowly cutting them down, and especially when you have Lord and Power minions, you want to take as much advantage as possible. This is only the very first Lord, so if they get an inhibitor, it's already a big win, and there we go. It's cracked wide
12
open.
minutes in.
They're gonna crack it open here. Luis
They haven't lost a
goes in
single
to
tower.
Another Dawning Light. For now, though, it's only that mid turret. You can still see the rest of the valley. We're gonna clear these lanes here. They don't want to lose any more. They're trying to hold on with their dear lives. 12 minutes in the
I don't know,
We
man.
need a way to
What y'all think it is? Y'all think it's also maybe like pressure on the chicken in the XP lane compared to Cardi? You think Cardi was a little bit more comfortable in the World Series?
Alone is already
I don't know. Maybe it's nerves. I mean, even when Chicken's in the fight, like a lot of these, you've seen it on the Xavier alone. Like he missed almost every single skill. And I'm wondering if it's just like nerves.
It's tough. It's really tough because if we're thinking about
I don't know.
who's going to be playing in the
I hope they
backline,
figure it out. I love the Valley. Amazing people. Met them all in person. But just breaking down the gameplay, like a lot of mistakes that are happening way too early. Like this kind of stuff should have been worked out way before M4.
Your biggest objective is going to be that Lord. But yes, as I was saying, Sagan is going to be the anchor of that backline. You would expect someone like Gusta Lagusta go in and out of fights. Luis wants to stay in the middle, but then you have Takashi and King. They're allowed to go crazy. And I think that's what's really difficult to get on top of them, because you have to go through multiple layers. And even if you gap close, there's a good amount of CC to keep you in place.
We're gonna watch all these games though, not right now, but we'll be back to watch some more today. So if you guys have another team you want to look at, definitely let me know, and I'll check them out and we'll watch them live on stream. But I want to go through all of them. I definitely want to do that.
Matilda here to dive into the back line with her ultimate, obviously, and bring someone with her as well.
Well, the easiest way that they could possibly do this is to get Fly
Chicken was a strong enough gold laner. I said him basic should have swat. At least they would have had a strong one mid rather than one mid and one weak.
Heal back up here. Still the battle for this Lord. It looks like everybody.
Yeah, it would have been better than what we've seen right now. BTK used to play around Zane as the carry.
Dawning Light going to be committed. Now Takashi goes in with a Petrify, able to find Hoon, gets the Cult Altar out. Lord whittled down, secured by Gusta Lagusta.
Hold on now, they're going to take this fight. There's no Cult Altar.
Still for a moment if they can, a guiding wind to come out. Still basic could get cut off here.
Oh! Oh my goodness!
Just disaster for the Valley.
Bro, what?
Saving grace, but he can't.
What was
down? Two in the base here.
Oh my goodness! I don't remember that.
Might be too late. Oh my god, that was
I don't remember that. Oh my god. Dude.
Gonna be dire for the Valley. They're trying their best here, but RRQ AKIRA gonna be taking a game in match.
Bro, did you see that set?
The Brazilian representatives.
Oh my god, that was crazy.
Found that perfect moment, and now
tried to saving grace, but he can't.
Hold on, hold the phone.
Looking still for a moment if they can. A guiding.
Bro, how?
Still basic could get cut off here.
Oh.
Perfect. Timing.
Yo,
King
what?
Basic as he falls, and it's
Okay.
disaster for the Valley. Who tried to
Oh.
save grace, but he can't.
Okay, hold on now.
Two in the base here. Fly Chicken finally able to get King out, but it might be too late.
Might be too late. Oh my god, that was brilliant by AKIRA. Luis found that perfect moment, and now they're gonna.
I don't know what to say, man. I don't remember that set, and I had to see that twice. So I'll probably have to say that was crazy. Literally crazy.
In match against the Valley.
The Brazilian representatives come out on top.
I don't know what to say, man. Alright guys, hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in. That was the Valley going up against RRQ Brazil. And we also saw their game against Team Haq as well. So we are going to be doing more videos like this going forward today. So definitely tune in. Another live stream will be active here in the next hour and a half. And we'll be covering some more teams. So if you guys have any teams you recommend that you want to watch, definitely let me know. I want to break down every single match inside of M4 going forward on our YouTube channel. But man, oh man, tough state for the Valley right now. They need to find some answers, especially in the XP lane for Chicken. They need to have an answer for who he's going against. If they are going to allow the Benedetta to walk, you need something with more mobility possibly, as that was kind of one of their main issues with that engagement. It was the Benedetta at the right place at the right time, and it was a battle of catch-up over there from Chicken. On top of that, you need to see maybe a little bit more of an answer inside of the jungle for Zane. If they're going to allow the Joy to walk, needing something to kind of stop Joy from popping off, as we didn't really see too much of an answer on that. Oh, and then one of the bigger key things is shot calling. You need to have more shot calling. We need to see if the XP lane is not in your lane, you should be seeing Chicken shouting that out. Like, I don't know where Benedetta is. I don't know where this hero. That goes for every single lane. Aside from that, over-aggression, overextending, especially in the early game, you need to play safe. You need to micro and macro it out, as these early objectives are the deciding factors to win these games. And as you've seen, even these small little first bloods is one of the big things that can start that snowball, especially for teams who have already good micro and macro, like what you've seen with RRQ Brazil. So I think if they can master that, they can keep that up, they can kind of turn it around and start playing that way, then they have a good chance. Because honestly, I feel like it was just a lot of early game mistakes and a little bit of a misread on the draft. So speaking of misread on the draft, I really can't say too much about the game against Team Haq, the full tank composition, because I don't understand it. I think that one entirely was just a bad read in the draft, and they don't need to don't run the triple tank. You need to have an answer, and then especially if you're gonna see them swap lanes and put that 1-1 on the Grok, y'all need to swap lanes too. Like, you can't just allow them to win that lane. Like, when that happens, the Valley is turning into the reactive team, right? And when you're the reactive team, you're allowing the game and the tempo to be held by the opposing team, and that's what they want. They want to drive, and if you let them drive the entire game, they're going to crash into that Nexus and take the win. So hopefully going forward, we'll see a little bit more micro and macro, a little bit better of a draft, a little bit of safer gameplay by Hoon, a little bit more of a better pick in the XP lane by Chicken. If he does pick something that's not as mobile for the Benedetta, take the tower. Wait for Benedetta to cut, take advantage of this split push, and take that lane. So just a couple keys to victory as they are going to be progressing. As group phase is done, group stage is completely done, and now we're moving to the knockout stage. It will be a best of 3, so the Valley's still in there. They're in the lower bracket. They have to win a best of 3 and kind of win all through these lower brackets. But it's not impossible. I mean, Blacklist did it, right? Blacklist was in the lower bracket. They beat BTK and then went up against Onyx Philippines. So guys, I appreciate y'all tuning in today. It's been a blast. A little bit of that breakdown for some of these games for M4. Like I said, we'll be live again in the next hour and a half to look at some more gameplay, so definitely tune in. If you guys have any teams, definitely let me know, and we'll kind of spotlight them before the others. But as always, it's been a pleasure. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. And we'll see you guys on